Not yet. It's a trap. A quiet, empty trap. Not yet. It's a trap. A quiet, empty trap between winter and planting time, and the grocery store is winning. They've got the greens, flown in from somewhere warm, and you're paying for it. Here's the lie you've been told. That gardening starts when the weather is nice, when the last frost date passes and you can put a tomato in the ground. That's the schedule they gave you. It's a bad schedule. It's their schedule. It surrenders the most important 6 weeks of the year. You give that time to the trucks and the shipping containers and the price hikes. You wait. The soil waits. Nothing grows. That ends now. Your most powerful tool isn't a shovel. It's a calendar. Your calendar, not theirs. Biology doesn't care about the garden center's display. It cares about temperature, cool soil, cool air. There are plants that thrive in that. They're waiting for you to stop waiting. This is about timing. Brutally simple, brutally effective timing. You plant when the system says you can't. You harvest when the store has nothing but tired, expensive lettuce. You create a gap between your food and their prices. That gap is your independence. It starts with a shift. Right now. From hoping spring comes soon to knowing your spring started weeks ago. You just didn't show up. It's time to show up. The confidence move is direct sowing. No fuss. No seedlings under lights. You take the seed and you put it in the ground. Today. Radish, spinach, peas. The soil only needs to be above 40 degrees. It probably is. You rake it smooth. You make a shallow trench. You drop the seeds. You cover them. You keep them moist. That's the entire ritual. In 30 days, you have radishes. Real ones. From your dirt. The surprise isn't that it works. The surprise is that these crops demand the cold. Spinach bolts and turns bitter in the heat. Peas quit producing when it gets warm. If you plant them late, you fail. The cold is their ally, your ally. This is the first proof. Green shoots in cool soil. It's not hope, it's evidence. You followed a different clock and the clock worked. That changes everything. You're not waiting for permission anymore. You're building momentum with every leaf. Now you've got green in the ground. Proof of concept. That's momentum. Don't stop. Momentum is a fragile thing. You use it or you lose it. So we move from instant gratification to permanent advantage. This is the long game. You're not just planting food. You're planting time. You're buying yourself a head start that nothing can take away. Onions, kale, cabbage. You get them as transplants. Little plants someone else started. Maybe you started them inside 8 weeks ago under a cheap shop light. If that's fine. The point is they have a head start. You take those plants and you put them in the cool, wet earth of April. They look small, insignificant. A tomato plant would shiver and die out here. These don't. They get to work underground. While you're watching the radishes grow, these things are building root systems. Massive, thirsty, greedy root systems in soil that's still soft from the thaw. That's the invisible work. The compounding interest. Every day of cool weather is a day of root growth without the stress of summer heat. You're giving them the best possible childhood. The result? When summer finally hits, your kale isn't a seedling struggling to survive. It's a fortress. An established plant with a deep taproot, already half grown, ready to pump out leaves while a May-planted kale is just putting out its first true leaves. That's the advantage. It's not incremental, it's overwhelming. You harden them off for a week. You plant them with space. 12 inches for kale, 18 for a cabbage. You give them a drink of water with a little phosphorus to tell the roots, grow this way. You might throw a light mulch of straw or shredded leaves to keep the weeds confused. If a hard frost is coming, you throw a row cover over them. An old bed sheet, a scrap of fabric. It's not about coddling. It's about removing obstacles so the biology can do its job. You're the manager. The biology is the workforce. This shifts your thinking. You're not just filling a bed. You're establishing territory. You're claiming that soil with something that will be there for months. While others are buying seedlings in May, you're already harvesting outer leaves. That feeling, that's control. Now we engineer the harvest. This is where you stop reacting and start directing. Carrots, they're the regulator. They take their time, 70, 80 days. If you plant them all at once, you get a tsunami of carrots in July. You can't eat them all. They go woody, it's waste, failure. So you break the rule of a single planting day. You sow carrots today, then you mark your calendar. 2-3 weeks from now, you sow another row. And another 2 weeks after that, you're creating a conveyor belt, a non-stop harvest from early summer straight into fall. The threat to carrots isn't the cold, it's the heat. Summer heat makes germination spotty and roots bitter. That final April sowing is your last and best shot at sweet carrots. Treat that bed like a nursery. Deep soil, no stones, fine texture. Those seeds are tiny, so mix them with sand and spread them evenly. Do not dump them in a clump. Keep the surface consistently moist. Germination can take 3 weeks. Stay steady. Then comes the hard part, thinning. It feels wrong. It feels wasteful. You are pulling perfectly healthy seedlings. Do it anyway, ruthlessly. 2 inches apart, 3 inches. If you do not, you will get a jungle of green tops and no roots underneath. You are not growing foliage. You are growing carrots. You make the difficult cut so the system performs. That is management. You are looking at bare soil and seeing a schedule, a sequence, a production plan. You're not just gardening anymore, you are producing. And that leads to the framework. These 7 crops are not random. They're a team, a functional unit defined by one thing. They operate in the cold. Their biology runs in soil temperatures between 35 and 55 degrees. That is the window. That is the weak spot in the grocery store's armor. They can ship what survives transport. They cannot ship what thrives in true cold. You can. So you group them. The April block. Give them the sunniest location and the best drained soil. That territory belongs to them. And you do not decide this in April. You plant it in January. You source their seeds in February. Their calendar event is the first week of April, not the last week of May. You monitor soil temperature with a $5 thermometer. Not the air, the soil. When that needle climbs past 40, you move. This framework turns the entire month on its head. April isn't a preseason. It's your first and most profitable shift. The quiet, empty trap is now a filled and working engine. You built it. You turned the key. So look at that ground now. That cool, bare soil. It's not empty anymore. It's an engine. Your engine. You built it in the gap they said didn't matter. While everyone else is circling parking lots at the garden center, you've got spinach almost ready to cut, peas climbing, kale putting down roots that will outlast the summer. Your calendar is different now. It's not marked by the last frost date. It's marked by soil temperature and succession sowings and the first harvest of the year happening weeks before the tomatoes even go in. The ground. That's the shift. You're not a hobbyist waiting for summer. You're a producer whose season started in the cold. The grocery store system is built on long supply chains and perfect weather somewhere else. Your system is built on a simple, brutal fact. Biology works here. Now, in the cold they can't ship. You harvest when their shelves are sparse and their prices are high. That gap between cost and yield, that's your independence. It's not measured in pounds, at first. It's measured in timing. In the quiet confidence of walking past the produce section knowing you don't need it. Knowing your food is growing on a schedule they can't control. True security doesn't come from stockpiling what they sell. It comes from producing what they can't. It's built by aligning your labor with a different clock. The slow, sure clock of photosynthesis in cool soil. You didn't just plant seeds, you planted a principle. That the most powerful thing you can do is act while everyone else is waiting. You captured lost time and turned it into leaves, roots, tangible food, momentum, confidence, independence. They start as green shoots in cold dirt. They end with you holding a harvest that didn't come from a truck. The trap is sprung, but not on you. You're already on the other side, working.